Wednesday, and you know what that means. Yes, that's right. It's time for Sarcastic Distractions, the interesting podcast for interesting people. Featuring, as always, the Gentleman Society of Podcasting. Myself, Harvey.
Fuck you. Fuck you, Dolphin.
Chris.
Yeah. Fuck you. That's pretty accurate. AJ's doing stuff while we're doing stuff. All right, this is amazing.
He's assuring that we are getting the proper recording to share this with all our wonderful listeners.
Sure,
I love it.
Just making sure it's all good.
My heterosexual life mate, Dave.
Yellow all.
You come out with stink like that. Poop. Poop mouth. Get out with poop out of your mouth. Dave.
I've actually, there's been a few times I've heard him described like that. That's pretty
As a
interesting.
poop mouth?
Yeah, as a poop mouth.
Yeah.
exactly.
I've heard that
What?
too.
I have been told.
That's true. Exactly.
Only when I'm getting busy.
That's true. And the ever-loving, ever-smelling AJ.
Smoke weed every day.
Of course, he gets the cool one all the time. Every fucking time.
That's what happens when you run the show. Fair enough.
That's right.
This
Yeah.
show.
Well,
anyway.
run the audio. Run the audio.
Right. And we have two honorary members of the Gentleman Society of Podcasting today on a very special episode. First and foremost, we have returning the great and powerful Malcolm Donaldson.
Thank you so much. Only because he kept us fed.
He did.
That's right.
This is true.
He sure did. Oh, that's a nice reference. I like that.
That was good.
It's
Absolutely
time to
works.
order food.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's time to
That
order
was his
food.
thing, too.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah.
It's time to order food.
It was never, hey, anybody want food? No. Okay, we're ordering now. Here's what I got picked out. If you want, here you go.
Exactly.
Or
I'm
not.
getting this.
Every time he treated us like a first date, and it worked every time. Every
There
time. And for the first time, but certainly I'm sure not the last time, the unbelievable and creative mind of Mr. Chris Cosgrove.
Hello. Chris.
I was waiting to see what my son talked
Shit.
about. Hello, everybody.
Had to be stolen.
Of course. Yes, that is that's what we get here.
Yep.
Welcome,
Totally.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thanks for having us.
And if you out there really, truly, and honestly want to support independent film, you'll like and subscribe. And make sure to stick around for more Sarcastic Distractions. And to help support us and help to support an American company as well as us Canadians, you can do so by saving 10% by buying some Smoking Gun beef jerky by using the affiliate link in our description below. But aside from that, we are here to
Now
talk
it's
about...
thrown down.
Yes,
It's
we
gone.
are going to do something which I've never done before. And I don't think any of us have done before. We are going to do commentary for our own film.
Nice.
So let's quickly do a little intro. Let's talk a little bit. The three of us did a show of kind of what we did to get started, but let's talk a little bit about the beginnings, kind of where we came up with all of this, and then we'll kind of watch what we did, which is called the movie we did was called The London Game.
Which is called the movie we did is called.
Which is called. It's called.
Hear it.
Yeah, fuck no.
Oh,
That's why
fuck.
we'll just link it. We'll just link it.
We'll just
Yeah.
link.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be able to-
We'll just
So
talk
how
about
this
the
is-
scenes.
We'll be able to hear it. So yeah, we're just gonna.
So here's what's going to happen.
I mean,
We'll
we can
just
watch it
talk
on the
about it.
phone.
We're
Yeah.
before this, we'll have the video up. So please go make sure to watch it
Yes.
first and foremost.
Pre-watch the video.
Pre-watch it. It's about 8 minutes long. Afterwards, watch it. If you want to do a little split screen with us on the YouTube link and with us here to do our commentary, that would probably be the best way to go about it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Or just listen to our
Or
wonderful
just listen to
audio.
our fucking awesome audio and let the chaos continue.
Keep it simple.
Exactly. And also, before we get into it, just because if you're wondering why Chris and I are so fashionably dressed, go Leafs go. That's all I want to say to that.
Hell yeah.
Go Leafs,
That's
go.
right.
Show up for Game 7
Yeah,
and not
please
do
do.
anything.
That's it.
Well, at
Shut
the
the
point
fuck
of posting, it'll be when Leafs went.
We'll see.
We will see. We will see.
Conjugation.
We will see. Conjugation.
Don't
That's
wait
right.
for us now to get sued
So,
by
gone,
the
Leafs gone?
Leafs owners.
So as in our previous episode, we had discussed, we signed up this team of 5 here for the Forest City Film Festival, where we were responsible for making a film within 48 hours of the length between 4 and 8 minutes. And the 3 pieces of criteria we got beforehand were a line of dialogue, which was it again? You
No one's coming to save us.
coming
No
to
one's
Save
save us
us
this time.
this time.
And I
Yes.
did notice a few times within the movies we were watching that it wasn't said correctly, which was funny. But
I
anyways.
agree. Yeah. Sentiment was there,
Did we even
but
say
yeah, I
it-
agree.
Did we say it correctly?
We sure did.
say it correctly.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure there for a while. But
Yeah. No, we definitely did. And then there was the prop, which was a deck of cards.
Yeah.
And then the location.
See, I was thinking
Go
about
ahead.
the deck of cards.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the deck of cards. And let me just
Get comfy. Get comfortable.
Get comfy.
Settle in.
Get
Yeah,
back.
get
you're
nice
settle
and
in,
comfy.
Settle in.
But I was thinking they probably wanted them to be used in a way that wasn't necessarily a deck of cards. I think they were looking for a more creative use of the cards themselves, and like 8 out of 10 of us use them as a deck of cards.
Yeah, they were used for the intended purpose rather than some sort of metaphorical. You did have some people try to kind of use the tarot cards. We did have a slight discussion of that. In our
because there was the
pre-planning
one episode that certainly had the cards getting shown with the writing the messages and all that.
The first one that
I think the
they
one that
showed
won used it as kind of like a tarot card with the Joker and got thrown in the fire.
Yeah, that was neat. Yeah, and then there was a third prompt, which was the location, which had to be somewhere in the city with London in it.
Yeah,
That
the
was
London
pretty much it.
had to be in the film.
Yeah,
the
London had
word.
to be.
The word London.
Yeah,
London.
exactly. Yeah,
Which was an interesting one because I think that would have probably just happened whether they made that a rule or not with a lot of them.
No,
I feel like
no, because
No.
think about it this way. Okay, certainly for ours, which everybody will get to watch shortly. Like we had the garbage can, great. We had a few people do the London sign, right? We had the London.
we also had the bus.
They don't say London on
It
the
does.
bus. I
It
thought
does.
it just
It says London
LTC.
Transit on
Oh,
it.
does it say full
Yeah.
London? I thought it just LTC.
No, it says LT.
And I believe in the
Gotcha.
shot we did have London in it
Oh,
on the
well,
bus
there you
too, which
go.
is interesting.
And
Nice.
garbage can was used more than once.
Oh yeah, I love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
We weren't the only ones to use the garbage
pretty
can.
Go Fish was used more than once.
Yeah.
For sure. We thought we
Oh.
were so fucking clever.
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 others that had the
No,
card game.
I think I feel like for us, our joke would have landed better, and you'll see when we go through it, would have landed much better if we were shown earlier. Right? If we were the first one shown with all the
Yeah.
Go Fish
Oh,
ones,
yeah.
that would have been that's
We would have
hilarious.
got to thunder steal the laugh.
You got
Right?
it. You
Yeah.
got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But by that point, it was like, oh, Go
Yeah, we've
Fish
already seen
again.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Ours
inter-
was better.
An interesting phenomenon, though, with those constraints, you could see the same ideas that we had or that we talked through showing up. And
Yeah.
with the garbage can, for example, Go Fish. One of the things about like following cards that said stuff on it, like I think putting constraints and then having everyone sit there after and talk about it, a lot of the same type of initial ideas will kind of come to the surface.
I agree.
And
I
it's cool
agree.
to see that.
I very enjoyed that type of experience
Yeah.
because you're right. Those constraints provide you a different creative direction that you wouldn't have without them. And yeah, it's interesting to see how everybody's take on the same vision is interesting but similar. Mhm.
Oh yeah, we got there was definitely commonalities, but that I actually found I was quite impressed on watching the full videos. There really wasn't much in the sense of duplication.
No, there really wasn't.
Like
No.
when we did this over 10 years ago, I remember feeling a little bit more dupe in it. Now, no.
Yeah, you had either shitty films or great films. That was about
These
it.
were all pretty good.
I would agree. There was only 1 or 2 that I was like, huh. But even still, you found a lot of value in what they put together. You can see that they put a lot of hard work into it. But yeah, I would say the quality of films, holy shit, amazing.
Yeah.
So I got to ask a question.
Sure.
Maybe is this still like a lead in, or can I just jump in and ask?
Oh, do you do
Yeah,
it?
go ahead.
What?
Have you heard the show?
with the seedlings?
Have you
So-
ever watched that? Listen.
I started watching the precursor to this one a little bit, but I only got a couple minutes into it. So in my mind, I could spot out the films that I feel like were like pre-developed to a certain point and then ready to go, and the ones where people actually did just kind of jump in and figure it out on the fly.
Right.
I feel like there was a certain like quality level with some of them where you're like this at least maybe this is my false assumption, but I feel like it was pre-developed in advance, like some of the shooting locations, some of the lights, some of the like what we would call seedlings, or the skeleton of the film was pre-developed to a point where it still had flexibility, and then you could tell there were ones where people just jumped in, did it, figured it out on the fly, and ran out of time. Probably.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
For sure.
I have a
but-
suspicion everybody ran out of time.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
But I was going to say, like, I think because it's maybe against the spirit of the rules, but it's not against the rules to have like something that's figured out in advance. Like you figured out, I know what my location's going to be. I know who my actor's going to be. I know kind of like what the driving story is going to be.
Right.
And I've figured that out in advance. And then when the clock starts, really, you know what you're doing.
Right.
You don't have to figure that out. And I think that's the hardest part, is figuring out what you're going to do.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's the fun part. I have to admit, though, one thing I do find slightly amusing is who was the member on our team who kept throwing out ideas before we even received the thoughts or what's going to be?
Well, I threw a few, but he was the champ in that regard.
There's
This
like
guy,
5 or 6 in there.
this
but-
guy has
Yeah.
fucking ideas for years. Like Jesus. Yeah, I love it.
Like Jesus.
But to your
I don't know if he meant
But-
like
or Jesus
Yeah.
or like
I think
Jesus.
he meant Like Jesus.
There's no punctuation in there.
That's
When
right,
you're talking, you can't see the punctuation. Right?
But to your point, let's talk about our process here because we can't speak to everyone else. But you're
I
right. You
forgot to
could
bring over
definitely.
the other board.
You could.
well.
Oh yeah, we got to do that. We should go do that right now.
I can get it. I'll
Awesome.
get it.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, basically, how
Take
this
off the
came to
headphones.
be was I definitely want to put a team in, and because I've worked with all of you in various capacities before, and thought this would be a really great team to do what we wanted to do. And the interesting thing was, yeah, that was the spirit. We were going to do this as much as fresh as possible right from the get-go. So the only things we took in, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks before the event, we got a check going. And then in there, we did a bit of an inventory check, right? Where we kind of just had an idea what we had available. Then we started seedlings, ideas of just what we could possibly formulate.
It
into
was
a story.
random.
It was
Yeah,
random.
completely random
Yeah,
fun.
it was like 8 or 9 fucking completely different ideas, really.
Yeah.
And outside, and I would even say mine were more esoteric. Yours were more specific, I would say. So we didn't really have an idea. We just knew what we had and what we had to work with in terms of resources. That was about it.
You might.
I love it.
We totally planned for the
Car.
Yeah, we did get to use that
Oh, this is our.
during filming. We actually got to play the car.
Yeah. Oh, we did do that. Yeah. This was our planning board. This is what we ended up using.
There you go.
So
It's beautiful.
So what ended up
Thing of
happening
beauty.
was that was it going into it. We got to the event. AJ stuck back here and got things ready for us when we come back here. And then literally before we got into anything, we spent the night writing. And that's kind of what you see on this board here. And then we kind of finalized things on this board here. We started to think of just what do we want to see in this film? And I think what the one thing we kind of figured was the line was going to be our our finishing point. We knew that in some fashion or another. So we kind of sort of worked backwards. But then I can't remember what we did. We took some ideas from your
We took ideas from everybody.
We did.
Because I think like
It's such a blur.
there were so many different ideas that were being thrown around. But like when we first met here, you showed up and you're like, yeah, what if there was some guy shows up in London?
Yeah.
And so I think we started to like seed in a bunch of different ideas and pull from them. But
We started off with somebody showing up in a box.
Right,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right.
That was
Old
kind of
boy.
our first, like, okay, this
Yeah,
is
little old boy.
some
Yeah.
guy in a box. And then
Right.
we kind of
moved away
got
from
past that
Deviated
somehow.
from that. Yeah.
We moved through it.
But I don't think there were any ideas from the pre-seedlings that we ended up using at all.
Not really. More themes, if anything. Yeah. No actual ideas. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we said pretty much from the start that we wanted to stay somewhat, it doesn't have to be comedic, but it has to be loose and fun.
Yeah,
in that sense.
we knew that comedy
Yeah.
was our driving force for
Yeah.
sure, but
Nothing serious
nothing
or
serious,
drama.
exactly. Which is kind of funny because we made something that starts off kind of serious, which is hilarious. But that's the beauty of it. It was exactly what we went for.
There was still a jovial nature.
There was a
about
jovial
it,
nature,
Absolutely.
the
yeah.
entire time.
Yeah, it's one of those things. And I still love it. I'm not knocking us for it. Where even though to me, I had that feeling through the entire thing, like we knew something funny was going to happen.
Right.
Something funny had to happen. No.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Executed greatly. So we knew that we were going to shoot 6 scenes, and we had a pretty good idea what those scenes were. We kind of knew what we wanted to hit in terms of what our story was. And we also knew who was going to be taking on the roles. And we kind of just started developing from there. And we wrote from about 6:30 till about 11:30.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, about
We didn't really write though. That's the one thing I'll throw out there. I actually thought we did a really good job on our timing through all this. Where the Friday we all agreed. I think we wrote that. That's on the big
Yeah.
board.
Yeah.
We all agreed to it, and that was it for that Friday night.
I think you think when writing is like an actual script, that's like the whole process of talking it out.
No,
discussing
it
that's
is. But
the
I just want to
writing
make sure our
process.
listeners know, like we did not write a script.
No, there was no script.
No. It's impossible to write a dedicated script. You have to be.
Oh,
able
yeah,
to
and the
move
time
Some
it.
of
we
the
have-
social media I was following, I saw people like in the 48-hour film thing did have like scripts, like actual printed
We
up
had
scripts they were
notes,
working
but that was
from.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we knew we had to hit up notes, and we
Yeah,
had to
good
kind of
ideas.
rely on our chemistry and
Yeah.
understanding of our roles.
Yeah,
And I think
which I thought was great.
I agree too, right?
Yeah.
And played to our strengths that way, right? So yeah, then we came up with the idea was the premise of these 2 kind of degenerate gamblers coming to the city for a big game, and then we went home and everyone slept with no problems at all,
We weren't degenerates.
right?
I actually
we were
did sleep
classy.
really well.
We were classy gamblers.
I agree. Malcolm, what would you say in terms of your experience for the first night?
Yeah,
and all that stuff?
Yeah, I thought it was great that we did some character development even that first night as well, right? We took time to write out like names of the characters and then kind of what is their like
true, who they were, the
persona going to
backstories.
be,
Yeah.
right? So then we could go into shooting on Saturday with a clear idea, like across the board. Here's what these characters are going to be, and I feel like we stuck pretty close to that. Like in the end, the general idea of what the characters were going to be flowed really well through.
I agree.
So
I would say
that was good.
you and Chris did a really good job of being pragmatic in terms of the script making sense of it.
They wouldn't say pregnant for some reason.
Well, I would.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
you guys did a great job being pregnant.
Being pregnant.
I'm pregnant.
Thank you for joining while the two of you were with child.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
It was a sacrifice.
Very
It
hard
was
for you
worth
guys.
it. It was
very
worth it.
hard. But no, being pragmatic in terms of like, oh, you were very like, well, how does this make sense? And we worked that well. And that helped the form.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good. That was
Yeah.
good.
Because I wanted something that was like so simple before we moved forward with developing it. The idea is so simple because I know like if it's not, then it's going to go off the rails. As
Yeah.
we try to
Well,
like,
yeah,
make
it
sense
won't
of
make
it.
any sense.
And it made sense because we didn't instead added meat to the bone rather than pretend like we had everything ready to go. And then I think it worked for a better storyline, right?
Yeah.
And then we went to bed, then got here, and then figured it out, made it to our first location, which we, after a bunch of trial and error spots in part of the city that's not so easy to look at, we end up settling on where we always fucking settle on Dundas and Wellington. Out to Dave was like,
Actually, I actually
Where else
thought
are you
that-
gonna go?
Yeah,
I know.
that one worked pretty well.
it did.
In my opinion, and we got all the scene. The bus drivers were great, which everybody I'm sure was
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah.
It was great.
yeah. And Malcolm, you did all the camera work, which was fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, how are your knees after that?
It was all right. I've lots of practice walking backwards, so that works out well. But
Let's
no, it was good.
Are you
So,
the
yeah.
backwards man?
Let's talk about that for a second. Let's
Yeah.
talk about that funny bit because we all thought, oh yeah, we'll bring our DSLR and that'll work. We bring all
Oh,
those
yeah.
gear, and then what? Half an hour?
Yeah, it wasn't
Well,
long.
we
The
didn't- I don't-
first
I don't
the
even think
first test shot.
was the first-
basically,
yeah.
we were like,
The
I
first
don't know
test
about
shot
this.
of the first scene.
Yeah, we went from like a pretty professional looking setup, like the whole shoulder rig and camera
Yeah.
and focus ring and all this stuff, to being like, we're going to use a phone.
Yeah, handheld pixel all the way.
And then we were like,
We're
well,
like,
we got a gimbal, and then you're like, well, do we need a gimbal? Well, like,
I have my arms.
I think we don't need it.
Yeah, the stabilization in the phone was
Yeah, the stabilization.
Yeah.
enough, right?
Yeah, I've done enough like action shots with the phone to realize like the optical stabilization that the Pixel has, works out.
And let me
I think
say-
it got steady enough.
I am extremely thankful that we made that call because otherwise I don't think we would have been able to finish.
It would have been headache.
I think
after
you're right.
headache,
Yeah.
Yeah. It really did save a lot of fucking hassle,
Yeah.
man.
Oh, it did.
shit.
It did for
And
sure.
the shots look great. Like
Yeah.
you watch it, it looks good.
Yeah. And what the test footage we were the DSLR was just like, oh, we got to fidget with this, and then this part. It's like, yeah, this just makes it so much easier.
I think especially because we were shooting in so many different conditions, right? We
Yeah.
were like outside in super
Inside,
bright
outside,
sunlight, but then also looking down kind of a darker alley, and then we're inside with like the lights off and just like a ring light for some of it. And I mean, it was a very varied set of lighting conditions we were dealing with. So
Yeah.
I think that would have been super challenging with the manual setup that we were looking at.
Yeah.
And we didn't end up needing kind of DSLR features, right? We didn't need like intense zoom or any of those kind of things. Like
No.
it was what we were trying to do. I feel like a couple of zoom levels was enough for it.
Yeah, we and from a shooting perspective, we knew what our shot selection was going to be, but then I would say we all figured out we would want to do a stylized shot for each one, and then you kind of started taking the reins on how we were going to put those together, and that was fun.
It was.
Yeah.
It was really fun. And I think being in the building that we were in, maybe we'll talk about that at some point.
Oh, yeah,
but,
yeah.
you know, it gave us a
Let's
ton
watch
of
it soon.
variety.
Oh, it did.
A
Plus,
ton
this
of variety.
building is a lot creepier than I realized.
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah,
super
yeah.
creepy. It worked out
This
great.
building was the main
Yeah.
character.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a feeling we're going to be using a lot of this building for other things. There's just so much.
Oh, there's a lot that could be done in this one. That's
Yeah,
for sure. I did
absolutely.
not like. I knew it was an older building, that sort of fun, but I didn't realize how unique this building was when you go down every little hall, stairs, and there's so much.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, you got everything from professional to a dungeon-looking like thing. To
Oh, God,
Art
yeah.
Deco. It's fucking wild. Just a crazy building. This is.
Apparently, this building used to be like a factory for like, I don't know, they built like old snowmobiles and shit.
Really?
I don't even
And
see
like
that.
tractor parts and oh yeah. This where we are right now was like the accounting room. That's why there's a safe.
Right here, yeah.
And then they
Nice.
built the closet is also like used to be like a strong box kind of
Yeah.
room, and there's like safes, old round safes in the wall. and shit.
Very cool.
Yeah, one
Weird.
interesting thing about RPM Studios that is cool. One thing that there's a mystery here for us. We have a safe in our studio that we cannot get into.
Nice.
And if somebody can help us get into it, that'd be wonderful.
Right? You could do like a whole
We would-
Geraldo's,
Yo.
Al Capone's.
We
fucking
would
thing.
literally give you a free episode of the show to come on if you could help.
Free
I don't know
Free
what that
episode of the
means.
show.
I don't
We're
know,
giving
guys.
people free episodes now?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I know.
What a deal.
I really wanted that safe, but yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I doubt there's anything in it.
Oh,
I don't
probably
care.
not.
I
It
still want
looks
into
like
it.
somebody tried to, because the back of the safe is in the room here.
Yeah.
And then the front of the safe
Is
is
that
up
right?
by the bathroom.
Yeah.
And it looks like somebody's tried to
Jimmy it.
pry open the
Yeah.
the back there,
That
and
makes sense. Yeah.
to no avail.
I really want it to be
safe.
one of those things where if it ever does get opened, there's a note in there. You pick it up and go, there's nothing in here.
Yeah. I love it. So, or it says like, sorry, but your money is in another safe.
Yeah. Or I got here first.
Sorry, frowny face. Yeah.
That's right, yeah. Yeah.
Back to equipment just for a second. I think it'd be
fine.
interesting if the other films or all of us like actually listed what equipment we used, because I think in the
Yeah.
spirit of like a community kind of,
That's actually not a bad idea.
you know, Forest City being a film space, like it'd be interesting to know like what was
Yeah.
the lineup of equipment that everyone used in their film, to kind of see the differences, like how much of a difference does like an amazing camera setup make?
Yeah.
I like
Does
that.
it let you be
Yeah.
more flexible? Like maybe we would have done more creative shots if we had access
But that's-
to different
And it's an
equipment, you
added,
know?
it's an added
could
bit of
have access
accountability
to it,
too.
though, right? Because you can rent shit like that.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, exactly. I was looking like, you know, afterwards, and I was like, well, with a few days notice, right?
Right?
Yeah, because
So-
the big thing I think we had fun with was the outside audio. Like it works out in the end, thankfully, but like we did
Yeah.
have some fun with it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah.
I'm buying those mics.
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just buying the
yeah.
little
Yeah.
the DJI, what are they, mic minis or whatever?
Right, right, right.
Just like clip them to the inside of your shirt.
Mm.
They're quite
Yeah.
popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah, they're good for a lot of things.
The little tangent here. It's interesting, some of the choices in some of the films where they went straight ADR. Like they only used ADR. You could tell that they
I
made a
noticed
choice to
that.
do
in a
that.
few
Oh,
of them,
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that sometimes it worked, and other times you're like, yeah, that must have been pretty difficult to do.
Yeah.
Well, that's why people don't think of the little things, like any like I had a hard time figuring out which take was which.
Right.
Because maybe sometimes we do the clap or something, but nobody'd say take X.
Right,
The
because
clap,
we're in the
right?
moment. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like
Mhm.
the claps and those little things help the
Yeah.
ADR part of
Yeah.
it immensely.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people think to do that. They
Yeah.
just think, okay, action.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
okay, go.
Mhm.
Right? Or
Yeah.
something like that.
But if you clap, you can hook.
Yeah.
Nice.
If you say like take 3,
Yeah.
and then the audio guy can go, okay, take 3, and then you
Mhm.
line it up exactly with that, because in an audio, we're looking at an audio recording
for now.
software. There's a big spike, right?
Sure.
Where that clap was. So that's where you line up, obviously,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sound with the visual of that, and you would have everything synced.
Yeah. Yeah.
there. Yeah. So maybe people were forgetting, those little things
Yeah.
in movie
Well,
making that actually make
In my
it.
experience, I think
Big deal.
you, and
Yeah.
again, everybody's got their own process, but I use ADR as like a last resort. Like when we have to use it. If we can get it with independent audio while we're filming, that is far better. And thankfully, I would say we got the majority of it that way
Yeah.
through a combination
yeah.
of the phone audio and your
the
audio
only
rig.
the only thing we ADR'd was the whisper.
Yeah, and that's just because we didn't get what we wanted him to
Yeah.
say. That was it. Yeah, exactly. And that was a boss move by putting chorus on it because it sounded so much fucking
yeah,
better.
It sounded good in the theater.
Holy shit!
I mean, it was still quite unintelligible.
That's
But then
perfect,
I was
though.
like, no, it's like a Twin Peaks thing.
Yeah.
Twin Peaks thing, like where you're not supposed to really understand,
Understand
but
what
you
he
kind of get
said.
the meaning
Yeah.
of what he's
Yeah.
trying to say,
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
I'm an artist
Yeah,
and all
yeah.
that. Yeah.
When in doubt,
Yeah.
lynch it out.
Yeah.
Yo, if people could bring their boyfriends to the fucking woods and just have them murder by some tree witch and then just walk away.
Why did we go into
We're
this?
allowed to have
One of the movies.
Exactly,
Yeah, that was
it's
one of the movies.
We're allowed to have a weird
David
fucking
Lynchian.
David Lynchian character for sure. No, and we definitely homaged a lot of I would say a lot of people that we are into in terms of
Oh, yeah.
filmmaking.
Yeah,
Like that. Yeah. Should we start watching our film?
You want to watch
The London
it?
Games?
You want to watch the film?
Yeah, let's try to do
We're
that.
gonna watch it on a phone, I think.
Yeah, I think that's
because
a
I don't
good
think we're
idea.
gonna be able to hear it if I play it
Oh,
through
okay.
the
So,
computer.
we're gonna
Yeah,
do like we're gonna watch it and then do a commentary.
Yeah,
Okay,
as
okay.
we're watching it. So we will have a link in our description, so you can link that up. If you were watching on a computer, you can split screen it or whichever, and then you can watch alongside us and check it out, or just hear us talk about our own film that we made called The London Games.
Here's talk about our.
Is it actually recording?
Sniff
'Cause
our own
it's in
farts.
a different color.
Sniffing
Yeah,
our
it's
thoughts.
Did you
on
not
the
splice it
far
into
right.
the YouTube,
Okay.
the YouTube video that you put up?
I'm gonna try.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But just so everyone knows, the audio is gonna go up first. The video may go up in a little bit later. That's all.
In a little bit later.
Yeah. The video, like our movie, will be up at the time of audio, but the actual this video version here might be a few days later.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Can you explain this again?
Oh my fucking lord!
Whiteboard it.
Yeah.
On the whiteboard.
So scene
Wipe her
one.
down.
I don't really understand your direction.
Not this again.
All right, I'll shut up.
Let's watch this.
Are we ready? Let's do it.
All right, ST Productions presents. Yes, I just came up with the title. I don't know if we're going to go with it forever, but that's what we're going with right now. So this is Malcolm doing his like best work as a crane shot operator.
That's it.
Hey, that's pretty good, man.
For this
I
moment,
would
I'm a
say
crane.
So. So the idea here is we wanted to show these guys just getting into London
Off the bus.
off the bus.
Dun dun dun.
From where?
Well, from where anywhere.
And
I
he's-
Oh,
guess-
pause it.
Somewhere in the city because it's a city bus.
So
Oh, are we doing the pause?
yeah, why not?
Oh my
Okay,
God.
oh.
Pause it.
So
then people don't
we're
need to
here.
line
We
up.
were. We wanted to. We came up with a concept that they knew where they had to go, but these guys were so arrogant for some reason they threw away their fucking instructions.
Let's make a clear point. One was really arrogant.
Yeah.
That's great.
The character was
choice.
taken after the actor.
That's true. That's true.
And I think this was mentioned a couple of times, or at least once. But shout out to the bus drivers who were very
Yeah. They
cooperative.
were.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, that was
very,
great.
very cooperative
Cooperative.
to let us get the
I mean,
shot.
some of them looked at us like we had 6 heads.
Sure.
Sure.
Or I remember one of them
Rightfully
that was
so.
like not in service. Like, oh yeah, we're not running to get on the bus. We just want to film something. Can you give us like?
We're going to get on and get right back off the
Literally.
bus. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Can we
Yeah.
get on and off the bus, please?
I will freely admit, I was actually surprised that not only did one agree with that, all the ones that we asked, they agreed. I was very surprised.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree. That was pretty cool.
It was very cool.
Shout out to the LTC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for,
Shout out.
Shout.
Even when we were testing out our equipment and we didn't get the shot the first time.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
It all worked out. That's true. Yeah, that was good.
So that shot was great. We were mid conversation. We do our thing, and then this shot is us of doing the walk. We wanted to do something where it's very, it's still in motion, but it was like more standard, very straightforward. Like there wasn't any more, just a tracking shot.
Yeah, no
Anything at
cool
all.
camera tricks.
No, exactly. Just these
I
guys
disagree.
talking.
I thought this was, and I'm no knock against the rest of it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the camera from this one.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
basically
Well,
one
later-
cut.
Yeah,
Yeah,
later
yeah, oh,
on
yeah,
it gets
yeah,
more
yeah.
interesting in this same shot,
For
right?
sure.
I think
Yeah.
it worked out nicely. And great work on the microphone. I think we
Absolutely.
moved off audio fairly quickly a minute ago. But I mean, a lot of work went into capturing audio
Yeah.
Agreed.
during the live filming and doing it in a bunch of like pretty difficult scenarios, right? To avoid
Walking
shadows.
backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there was a lot going on a like a sidewalk with people and all
Yeah.
of that. You know, there's a lot to keep track of. So great work
Yeah.
to everyone who did audio stuff.
Everybody did stuff. It was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
yeah.
And
really
just to
good.
point out some of the ugly edits coming up are to hide the microphone that dips in a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was unavoidable.
yeah, it really was. Yeah.
I
So we
didn't even
kinda
think of
cut-
it as ugly. I thought they all turned out well.
Okay.
It works for the film when you think about how it all goes together later on with the jump cuts we use later.
Yeah.
So it
exactly.
actually does work
It all
really
makes
well.
sense,
Yeah.
But you're right. That is something we will get better
We
at.
did a good job of kneading it in.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, and I think on this too, there was some pace changes along this walk as
Yeah.
well.
That's
That there was a lot of dynamic stuff happening, which I think worked out well, right? You're walking and then you kind of slowed down as you were getting more into discussion, which I think worked well
And-
for the scene, but also was challenging
It
from a
was
technical
fun.
perspective.
Yeah,
And
it
at
was
this
fun.
point in time, we're figuring out our technical bits, but we're also trying to figure out these characters and what exactly
Yeah.
they're doing.
Yeah,
and it's like,
exactly.
you're right, pacing part, because it's like, okay, here's what they're doing. It's like, well, why we're doing this? Oh, actually, this works better. And that was all team effort. Like, we're all trying to figure out how this is going down and why they're even
How many
here.
takes would you say there were in total of this that we did?
Four
for
or
this,
five.
I feel like 4 or 5.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
right,
yeah. I feel like for this in particular, for the bus scene, maybe 6 in total because we went
Yeah.
back to shoot a couple.
Yeah, there was a couple of failed attempts just because there was too much
Well,
There was
plus
a lot of
traffic
people,
around, right?
people and
People,
whatnot.
Yeah.
we couldn't use.
Well, and the hardware itself, as we talked about.
yeah.
Because
Also.
again, the camera, the original camera was all set up. It wasn't used, but it all got set up to be used.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We paused at 31 seconds if anyone's trying to stay synced.
Oh
with
yeah,
us here.
31 seconds here. Okay, good call.
I love that line. Big game. Big London game.
Yeah, we just
are.
we just wanted to capture the spirit of these guys. And clearly, you know, you got your big dog, little dog, gamblers. One's always trying to convince the other one that we're heading on the right path, while the other one's janky about
In the background
Yeah, I was
looks
thinking
great.
like a Rick and Morty dynamic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Rick and Morty.
yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
Oh, gee, Bill.
Yeah.
It would be fun to have a running tally of all the different inspirations that
Yeah.
went into this. There's a lot of them.
At,
Fill
at
a
least
book.
5, 6.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So this was, we discussed a bit, right? Because we're technically shooting towards the sun, which maybe wouldn't be ideal in most scenarios. But
Yeah.
then we realized if we shot coming up the sidewalk the other way, then the mic
Yeah.
shadow
Yeah.
would be in
Which
the
you
shot.
can see at
Yeah.
the end of this if
Right.
you look closely.
Yeah, at the end a bit when we flipped around,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
at least it stayed cleaner in this
It's
case.
not
but
again. You have to look for it.
it
In
all
my
worked out.
opinion.
Yeah.
I think AJ and I hit our marks for the most part, costume wise and character wise. Like it was sort of what we were looking to get. Like you have your straight, like your professional versus the other one who's like kind of along for the ride.
Straight-laced.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Straight-laced.
Straight laced. We'll go with that.
Come on.
One who's
Straight-laced.
crooked laced, and this is beautiful. Or
Do we
pause. Yeah. First off, can we go? We won't go back.
No
but
going back. No,
your
no.
camera work of spinning around
Yeah, that was a trick.
was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that was
I think
like-
it worked out real nice.
It's so Lynch, David Lynch, in the way, because you got this just straight on shot. There's virtually like you bring out the audio right down to a dull voice, so you barely hear any of it as you're coming through, and then it picks up again when you do this fucking spin motion, and then our banter is great because you coming into the shot so slow.
yeah, it was fantastic.
Fantastically
Yeah.
done.
Wish we would
And-
have had like maybe one more take of that.
If some butts, buddy.
Don't, if I'll sniff your butts.
But yeah, the timing of it and the character coming down the alley, I think the way that all came together worked out really,
And I
really
like how you guys
nice.
could you could keep bantering, and then I could just kind of slowly mosey on up.
Yeah, and you know what's funny because we did this. Well, yeah, I guess we did all about 4 or 5 takes.
Yeah.
All of yours were awesome, like bangers.
And they were a little
every
bit
single
different.
one. A little bit
Yeah,
different every
yeah.
time. I think this is almost the creepiest.
The
second
most
creepiest.
simplified. Like
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
other like weird things that I was throwing in that I'm like, I just keep it as simple as possible. 'Cause when you
Yeah.
try to venture out too far.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah,
and you really got up in his face, which I
Yeah,
think was
yeah.
good, right? I mean, there was that. It's a fairly like intimate, intense moment,
Yeah.
right? Of like, whoa, what's going on here? I like that.
Absolutely, yeah. And you have like AJ's kind of like the bystander, like what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
As
I
those
knew
guys
this was-
creep it in, right?
Fuck.
Yeah. And,
After we
yeah,
watched this in the theater, my brother was like, I don't realize how tall you are until I see something like this, and you're like getting up in somebody's face, and you're like, yeah, you're like freakishly
But does
tall.
he also realize how short Chris is?
Hey,
boom.
I'm average height. You guys are over tall.
Average
That's
for a
right.
hobbit.
Yeah. What's up, bitch? I'm a hobbit. I'm a hobbit.
Over tall.
Listen, I live above the ground, not under it. Sometimes.
You live
Usually?
in the side of a hill.
That's right. I do actually.
You live in the side of a hill.
That's right.
And you walk around a lot with bare feet.
That's right.
And they're really fuzzy.
Fuzzy feet. That's right.
Bitch, I don't hobbit again.
I was walking with trees, trying to drop a ring off into the fucking volcano
You're
somewhere.
a fucking hobbit.
Oh, fuck off.
You're a hobbit.
Hit play.
But yeah, I think being able to do this in one take worked really well for the flow visually, and then the audio too, to be able to keep the microphone
Yeah.
with that
Yeah.
whole flip around. And
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you know what you're looking for, you can tell the microphone shadow gets in there, but I think it just kind of looks like
I
general
think the
shadow.
three
It's a
of us,
bird.
there's
Yeah.
enough
Yeah.
distraction
Yeah.
to not have it be a thing.
I think
Right?
it worked out great.
And when we get to later in the film, there's something that I had to worry in my head, but now after watching with people, I realized it did work out very well. But yeah, we can certainly play forward here.
It'll be the longest 8 minutes ever.
Shit.
Distracted by our own
So
bullshit.
much to say.
Yeah, and yeah, this close up's so good.
Love the music.
Yeah,
It's great.
AJ's reaction coming out of that was awesome. Deadpans it. And then your lingering camera shot.
It worked out.
And then I'm onto it again. Okay.
And now we spin.
Yes. Back into
Should've
just
brought
what we were at.
The
Yeah.
karaoke machine later in the movie, but
Yeah, we were saying that we should have
All right, pause here.
We
Pause
should have
here.
the lights.
Okay, so this So this came about where we wanted them to go to. We had the idea of them going to a hotel, but we didn't have an actual hotel figured out.
Oh, motel.
A motel.
A
motel. Yeah.
Motel.
We
The
wanted-
motel.
because the
continuity error.
yeah, motel set. The idea that we wanted them to kind of be preparing for where they're going to was the idea, and then they could kind of talk out a little bit about the story. So we wanted to shoot something. So at the end of the day, we decided to go do off location, and we ended up going to what was it, East Court?
I think so.
Hotel.
Yeah.
Shout out to those guys.
Yeah, they were great too.
Shout out to those guys.
Yeah, shout out to those guys. They could use a
They're probably
business.
listening to
They
this right
let
now.
us use it.
Staying there,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
shout out to those guys.
Maybe they'll sponsor.
Yeah, I can't even.
Please not
I don't even
sponsor.
know the last time I've been in a room with the CRT TV.
There you go.
That was that room. That was it. But we knew we wanted to do this, and this shot, I'm very proud that we got this because this was very much like a kind of like a Tarantino Rodriguez sort of stylish shot of these two guys going into the hotel room with literally nothing. It's just them playing cards, but it's just still fucking great shot selection.
It was
And,
great.
yeah.
It was funny when I showed
And
when I showed my wife this part. She took her like 45 seconds to a minute to realize that we were in that room over
yeah,
there.
we're gonna talk about that in just a second.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's like,
Really?
I didn't realize you guys were in the studio.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Shout out to your
That is
edit
good.
to the frame before this to turning it into the Rosebud.
Yes,
Yeah.
nicely
Yeah,
done.
All right. Great efficiency using
It
your
did
time.
it, yeah. Like I was thinking, like when you see it, because it was so quickly thrown together that if you look closely, if you look at a still frame, you can tell it's like paint, like
But
Photoshop.
Oh,
Did
But
you even get a
in this,
still
you
frame
can't
of
even
it
tell.
though? Like you'd
Yeah.
have to,
No.
you'd have to be like a ninja on the pause
Yeah.
button to get
Yeah.
a still frame of that.
You would.
Do
Yeah.
the step.
Did good.
Yeah, so yeah, worked
Step,
out great.
step,
Yeah.
step.
Yeah.
And then I think our selection of the Spanish guitar, I think that was
Yeah.
perfectly
Yeah, it works well
placed.
with this. Yeah.
Perfectly. And then you, the next scene here, I love the drop for to allow our audio in. It's fucking superb, just sublime in timing. Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah,
It was fun.
I have two comments on
Yeah.
this section. So this is the clip of the sign is the only clip I didn't record. So
Oh,
shout out to
okay.
you. There you go.
Nice.
Technically,
Nice.
I should have put that in the credit.
That's fine. That's right.
Where's his videographer?
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
right.
Right? Who's our DP?
We got to keep that credit in there. The second thing too, I just want to say on a side note, the idea of going to ask the hotel if we could actually go in. I
Yeah.
feel like there was I don't. It doesn't matter who was like, I don't think they're going to let
Oh,
us.
I didn't think they
whatever.
were.
Oh yeah.
I did
and
not
you were
think-
We
like,
can point fingers.
no, let's do it. Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
But I thought it's a very interesting thing because I was listening to some other stuff recently, and that idea of just like asking for
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like I think this is a very interesting example. I think that's going to stick with me because I'm very much not someone who's like, I'm just going to go ask for
Yeah.
what I want. But like this is a great example of
Asking
like
shall
just
receive.
do it, and we got a great clip
Yeah.
out of it,
Yeah.
right?
Because-
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a bigger life, without getting too philosophical, but I think there's
no.
like a bigger life lesson there. Like
it's true.
sometimes you just
Yeah.
have to like
Ask.
ask.
Yeah, the
You
bus
know?
drivers.
I was
with
thinking
the-
about that.
Exactly.
That the worst that they can say is no.
Right.
You say that now.
Right? Well, you're not asking for $1 million.
But someday we may be asking for $1 million.
And the worst they can
Well,
say
right?
is no.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I can say it's paid by the hour.
But so,
Here you go.
in my experience, exactly, coming to these things, I've always gotten a yes more than I've gotten a no. I can only think of a handful of times someone's not wanted to support it in some
Well-
way. And typically speaking, we're not asking for much. I think of the biggest example, well, two, Marion Bad, shout out to those guys.
Oh,
they
back
helped
in
us
the
out.
day, yeah.
And Honest Lawyer back in the day. Those guys were great too,
The
right?
Honest Lawyer, that's the crazy one.
I know. That is
The-
fucking nuts that they
Whole
even
other
allowed that.
thing, though. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
The Happiness Cafe, that was the cafe
Yeah.
we walked
Yeah.
by in the previous scene. He was all like,
He
hey,
was
you guys
good.
can shoot on
Yeah,
our,
yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
on our
exactly.
patio if you
Yeah.
need to and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, so I feel people are
Shout
very
out to
much
that
are very
Open.
and gracious
Yeah.
with their properties
Yeah.
for that
Yeah.
stuff. And again, like you just ask. Like for me, when it comes to this stuff, like my goal is to make it happen. If that means I just gotta fucking talk to somebody to make it happen. If I gotta
Exactly.
convince them, if I gotta use my sales. If I gotta just talk to them for a second.
Oh, you can tell you were in sales mode when you're trying to get that.
Oh,
key.
I don't fucking
I'm watching you, so
yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, he's gonna get it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's turned sales Harvey on.
For sure. But because it matters, right? So yeah, so asking people for help or whatever, and a lot of people are usually wanting to do it because who doesn't want to be a part of a film?
Right.
Who doesn't? You know, it's a good
That's
time.
the second part I was thinking about, right? Because it's one thing, it's like, oh, I'm going to inconvenience them.
Yeah.
They're going to have to take time. But like, what if they'd actually be genuinely excited to be part of it?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
not asking means they don't get the opportunity to
Right.
be part of this cool
Yeah.
project.
And
Like,
now,
even,
the
you know?
East Court Motel gets shouted out to our 50s of fans. Right? You know what I mean? Like, they get-
Don't stay
they get
there.
It all works out.
not an
But,
official endorsement,
yeah.
but
Hey, if you really want to understand the life our characters had, feel
there
free
you
to
go.
stay
Oh,
there.
yeah, there you go.
Absolutely.
That's
yeah,
right. That's
yeah.
right.
It's
These
gonna-
guys would have definitely stayed at that
Oh, hell
hotel
yeah.
for
Oh,
sure.
hell
Yeah, well, I mean, they would, yeah.
Yeah,
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
not even a question. Yeah, okay.
It's great.
Let's play
We're
the-
at 343.
343 at this point. Yes.
That's some great guitar work.
Thank you.
What's that?
I found it on the internet myself.
Well done.
And then for this here, if you can't notice, this is our normal studio that we
You know
film
what? I
in.
don't think anybody would notice
I don't
because I
think
don't
they
think anybody's seen it since.
I think you're probably
since the
right.
remodel.
That's a very good point.
Oh, that
Yes,
is.
that is
I forgot
true.
about that. Yeah.
But yeah, and then we just wanted to again kind of reiterate that these characters were preparing for this. One is still very nervous, and the other one's just like, "We got this. This is normal, standard affair. There's no need to freak out, even though there's clearly something to freak out with this fucking guy that just met him on the street."
We're going to include
And
this
there's
as a
cards in it.
descriptive video track on some of the visually impaired.
Yeah. Well, interestingly, YouTube does transcribe our episodes.
Oh yeah, it does.
Well, there you
But
go.
do they do an audio description?
I think yeah.
Have you
Oh,
ever
I-
heard of an audio description?
Yeah, I don't know if
on,
they
like,
do.
Oh yeah, I know they do.
It's like some
I guess
dude
you're
like,
right. No, they probably don't.
Like this guy stepped on a bunch of skulls and he's a robot.
Two men sit on couches
That's right.
with a lamp between
Yeah.
them.
My
Great
favorite.
placement on the lamp, by the way.
Yeah.
That was
Thank you.
several people worked on getting that together.
Yeah,
so
absolutely,
I
yeah.
feel like that added a
It
lot.
was a team
That
effort.
was.
The
Yeah.
important thing is you don't see any cables.
It's,
No, that's
it's,
true.
it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I love the use of space here with me becoming bigger in the shot.
Yeah.
I think that's a really great kind of because here we're transitioning into saying, "Hey, we're going to do this."
He's not used to
And the
being
dog
a tall
blanket.
one.
I like the
Yeah,
dog
he's
blanket.
not.
Yeah.
What I still love about this scene, totally unrelated, is just we're holding the cards and doing nothing with them.
I know. Yeah.
You're
yeah.
both holding them like a
Oh, my
hand,
God.
but you're not actually playing
No
it.
one's doing anything.
Yeah,
this
I
is a
love
bunch of
it. I
bullshit.
love it.
And there's one like twice he fucking throws
Yeah,
it
yeah,
down,
I
picks
love
throws
it.
it down.
It's like in sitcoms where
And this
people-
is
people are
totally-
eating, they're just shoveling the food around
Yeah.
the plates.
This is great. So we got this at the old factory. We're gonna pause here for a second.
No, this was at McCulloch's.
Oh, McCulloch's.
yeah.
Yeah. And then this is the entrance of our building, and this
Yeah.
is where I
One of
guess
the
a
many.
true inspiration came from. It was kind of like the idea of Squid Game, but for London.
Yeah, this is where the music comes in, right?
Right.
Yeah. This is where
all
things go.
royalty free.
Right,
Nicely done.
yes, yes.
Everybody know that.
But the
Nicely
the,
done.
the main concept was that these guys go from London to London, playing these
Just
games.
Londons.
just
London.
London,
Just Londons.
no
Yeah.
other towns, just Londons.
Yeah. We say
That really is the concept.
It's the
really
concept
is.
that we have. I have a suspicion, though, if we showed this to somebody and they watched it, they would not pick up on it. Like
I
we
don't- I
say
don't think
London,
so either.
we say London a lot, but
Yeah.
it never gets clearly defined.
Right.
It does.
Yeah.
We say London,
Oh,
Ohio. or
yes, London, but I don't know if somebody would grok it.
Yeah,
Mm.
you know,
I'm not knocking
I feel
us.
like we had a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
If one of the games was like London Bridges falling down or something like that.
I think that would have confused it even further.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
Damn it, that's
probably
actually a good
There's,
play.
there's
yeah.
a lot of layers.
Yeah, later,
And actually, we
yeah.
take a scene out on the bridge to boot or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Either way.
Yeah.
How many people do you think thought that the scene in the motel was the game?
Oh.
I know one.
Oh,
I
no.
how did you know what? I didn't even think of that.
And because after my brother and he's like, yeah, I thought that was the game. I was like, I can see that actually.
Yeah, I
No.
guess
Well,
so.
again,
Yeah.
the hand of cards that never get played.
That's true. That's true.
We're just playing random cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
No.
practicing.
We're
good
practicing.
things.
Makes sense. Yeah.
You gotta practice.
Well, that's a good point.
Can't go in rusty.
I think
now-
it becomes apparent that it's not when you get to this part.
To this
Right.
scene. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, and some sound effects, right? On the door here, you did some work around
There
this
was
area.
I just added. I used the actual sound effect of the door, like the actual sound
Oh,
of
okay.
the door,
Yeah.
and I just added a sound
Oh,
effect of
okay.
a door slamming
Nice.
over top of it,
Yeah.
just to make it more.
And it sounded great in the
larger.
theater. for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Sounded
It did
Oh,
sound good.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this was the first of the spooky scenes of this fucking unbelievable building. that
Yes,
we're in.
now it gets clean.
Believe it or not, this is one of the front entrances to this building.
Believe it or not.
We did turn off the lights. We
Yeah.
turned
Yeah,
off
there's-
the lights.
There's the motion sensing lights.
yeah,
that
we
go
turned
on.
everything off. We had fun. We taped some of those shut so that way they wouldn't get detected.
Yeah, so let's play this through here. And this is like clearly something's not right with this place.
More for AJ's character.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not for you yet. It's not
he's
till
still like, what is yeah,
waits
fine.
for
Chris
it.
is used to hanging out in these seedy.
I know these places very well. Yes. All right. Pause here.
Oh, we're gonna. Okay.
Shout out to Nikki for doing this awesome secretary role. She did a great job.
Yeah.
My lovely wife.
The lighting on this is fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
It really
great
is.
lighting on this.
I think this is the first time we really used like interesting lighting, right?
Yeah.
So those RGB softboxes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Newer.
And it starts
were,
to give that essence. Yeah, the essence starts as to what's actually starting to
essence starts to
happen.
creep
The
in,
creep.
yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
right. Yeah.
I was quite happy with it.
Great shot selection too, with getting both doors in frame and having us come through and AJ blocking off to the side there. I think that
What we're about to see. I really do love that scene because again, it's one of those subtle things. Out from one door,
Yeah,
into a whole other door. It's
Yeah.
like I love the
I
directional
love
concept.
it. And that's the best thing. Like, there's a surprise here that you don't know until it comes up, right?
Yeah.
Actually, there's two, but yeah. It's neat. All
And
right.
the most important too.
The silhouette in the window in the back there. I don't know. I really enjoyed that.
Oh,
like
it's
coming
so
up
good.
to the window
Oh, yeah,
with the
that's fun.
backlight. Like that was just a cool effect. It worked out super well.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's continue.
Hit.
But really, this is just a movie of this guy trying to convince this other guy to keep fucking going.
To keep going. Yeah. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. What could go
Yeah,
wrong?
lead 'em
Don't
to
worry
it.
about it.
It's a movie about peer pressure.
This was
exactly.
Chris's the what is it called? The waiver of consequence.
Oh yeah.
Genius idea.
Yeah.
I still have to look at the fine print on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at the very fine
Somehow.
print.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Candy coating.
Candy coating. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be
That-
a joke towards the fact that there was a deadly
Candyland.
Candyland.
Yeah, that was a game
somewhere in
yeah.
the building.
But it landed. The joke landed.
It's just
Because it was
It lands on the
ridiculous.
level where people don't even know why it landed or how it landed.
Right. It
Yeah,
just was funny.
It doesn't matter because it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
That's right.
Oh,
If
yeah.
somebody
And then
laughed
this
in the
here,
theater,
Dave
I'd like to
coming
go
into
ask them,
frame.
Why is it?
Oh, yeah.
Why are you laughing?
That's awesome.
Yes.
what a character.
The Davinator.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Terminator.
So little known fact, we did name this character.
Pause it.
We did name the Usher character. His name was
Usher.
Raymond.
Usher Raymond.
Yeah, it was Usher Raymond.
That's right. Yes.
For sure.
I still love
Different,
that.
Yeah.
It's great. We're paused at exactly 6 minutes.
Exactly.
If you want to
Exactly.
sync
2
up with
minutes
us
left.
again here.
This is
Get-
where
get
it
your popcorn.
switches.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yes.
Yes.
Get your pillow to hide in front
And I
of
know
your
many
face.
of our listeners and the watchers are very surprised. Yes, I just showed my beauty for this particular
Oh, that's
one.
true. This is your first
Yep.
emergence.
And I don't speak at all. It's just my
It's-
beauty.
Yeah.
I just want to say that's
Powerful.
my fantasy. Dave there with not speaking.
Dave not speaking.
without
You know what's,
having to
you know
do
what's
anything
strange?
about it.
I've heard this a lot from people. I don't understand though.
I don't know. Yeah.
They must be the
Yeah.
problem. Yeah.
They have to be. I don't
Everybody else
get
is
it.
the problem, Dave.
Thank you for agreeing with me, AJ.
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
All right, let's
Yeah.
continue
Oh,
on.
and
here.
the audio here, I don't know if you have tennis elbow from holding the
I do.
thing.
Yeah. It was a very awkward angle.
In that
Chris
little-
is off to the side.
I was
fucking-
amazed with the angles that like how I was standing wasn't right in the frame, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it worked out so nicely
I
done.
don't think you got. Did you get any dips in this? I don't think you did.
I don't remember.
I don't think
No.
so.
I don't think
Yeah.
you did in
You
this
were
one.
scrunched in the corner. It was quite,
Yeah.
quite the performance.
Yeah.
I'm sure like professional boom operators have to do like much yoga.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Lots of Pilates and yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Malcolm's on the camera and getting the lighting here, which is fantastic. So yeah.
Yeah, we had some fun with this room for sure.
All right, let's
It was
play
a
it
good scene.
forward. And then waiting on the creaking of the door was nice until we passed through.
Yep.
Then you switching off the light was a genius idea.
Thank you.
And I like how your voice dips into like Ken Kniff mode a few times, like really deep.
Yeah.
This tune.
These are great. I loved all these shots. These
Yeah,
are so
yeah,
much
yeah.
fun. Oh my god!
Doing this in slow mo was genius. Whoever had that idea, that
Yeah,
worked
that
out.
was
Worked out well.
Cosgrove's
Fantastic.
shot. Yeah. So good.
And then cutting back to full speed, like the beautiful.
And
I
then
love the
jump
I like
cuts.
the choppy.
Yeah.
The chops
Yeah,
are
yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's
We
what got
did
us
it-
under 8 minutes if it wasn't
That's
for
right.
that. Yeah.
We did it for time, but it worked
Me
out.
trying
Yeah.
to get away got a big laugh.
Yep,
Yeah,
that was
Yeah,
a
it
good one, yeah.
did.
I think I would like to smooth that into this a little bit easier, but that's okay. That's
I love how the
Time.
deep droning comes in.
yeah. Everyone got these. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
So I
love it.
heard a couple people make a comment on the next Scream.
Oh yeah.
That one.
Oh yeah.
So for people who don't know, that is called a Wilhelm scream.
Yes, it has to be in movies.
It is it has to be in most action movies. It's in every Star Wars movie.
Yep.
Possibly even every Star Wars property. It's from some like old Western movie where the guy gets shot and he falls off a horse, and that's the scream he makes.
Sure.
Yeah. But for some reason, people have like sampled it and used it as
Everywhere.
scream sound effects for ages. So I was like, I got to put that in.
I actually thank you for that because to me it is one of those classic. It's just fun to hear.
Yeah, it is. It is.
A lot of people are like, "Yeah, that's a Wilhelm scream."
Yeah.
My job.
I didn't know that backstory, so thanks for explaining.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Shout out to you on the camera work on this. This was fantastic. This is him.
Blair Witch.
This is
style.
him with his phone and this little block light that we got, LED block light.
You were probably just holding it with your fingers or something.
Yeah. And he's like fucking following us through, like waving at us. And it just gives you this uneasy feeling as you're following through in this perfectly pitch black hallway, right? Which is
it was cool.
Oh, it's wonderful.
This fucking building, holy shit!
It's
crazy. All right, yeah, let's play till this little bit here.
The last bit. What's happening?
Nice.
And then last shots.
I'm very happy we chose that method.
I do
pause it here real quick.
I do regret not getting the shot that I thought of before. It was like from underneath, but at a Dutch angle.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Oh, yeah, that was
But
discussed.
that was also my bad for not bringing it back up again. Saying, hey, remember?
could've been
You
good.
get so lost in the moment sometimes.
I mean, it's not that it's not a great shot.
No, but you're right.
That would have added,
Yeah.
for sure.
I know. I wanted the door opening with the light coming from the door.
right.
I wish we had that. You know, there's lots of things they.
I mean, because again, 48 hours, dude.
exactly. Yeah.
Do all this and then still have time to edit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure everything's.
It's a small miracle that
right?
anyone makes anything coherent.
I know.
in that time.
For sure. And again, having those lights with the RGB for this scene, I think added a ton.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did a lot of lifting.
Really, really good.
The R more silly, but yes.
Two things. We knew that this was where we're going to deliver the line because it made the most sense.
You're
and
saying
leave
it right
on a
now.
hanger. But the best part was you were like, oh, we should have my character kind of,
Yeah, I
the
forget how.
hallway.
It's what we were doing our
I
test
think
shot.
I
forget
may
whose
have
idea.
suggested.
Oh, is it you?
Yeah,
Okay.
because when we were watching the test
Dave was
footage,
standing in the background.
just-
Oh, right.
Inadvertently,
Right.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, then
And
I was
just-
like, what if we had the dude,
Yeah.
the creepy dude
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the alley just
Yep.
pop
Yeah.
up in the background?
Yeah.
Yep.
That worked well.
It added a lot to
really-
it. One thing I really like about what we created, first off, you're right. It's a miracle anything coherent gets made. It is very coherent. I love that. But also, you can pick up shit as you keep rewatching it, which is neat.
Yeah,
Right? You
yeah.
know, there's a lot of interest.
and we purposely put that shit in there, of course.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
some of it.
Some Easter eggs.
That's true. Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
But that is pretty wild that in a film made in such a short time, there are actually layers or like rewatchability. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of wild.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Okay, let's finish her off.
Wrap it up.
Bring her home.
That's what she said.
Oh, perfect.
Deck of cards. And then they're morose. Oh no.
And then they end.
Go.
And what I was gonna say, I didn't like that you could see Go Fish in the other shots, but the fact that there's so much distraction that
You
it's
don't
not
really
focused-
click.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then great job on the Squid Game.
Random
sort of,
80s music.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a great find on the font for
Yeah.
sure.
And the music went super well at that.
Yeah, and the editing.
Dude, that was all random. I just I went on some royalty free thing. I typed in ominous music.
Yeah.
I got ominous music. I don't even know where I got the fucking flamenco guitar. Like I think it was from the same website. I don't even remember what I typed in to get it.
yeah.
I just typed something in and that's
It worked out.
I was
It
like, yeah, sure.
Slam it in, render.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, it felt kind of magical to me that the audio portion and that editing came together as quickly as it did that afternoon.
Yeah.
Like it feels like magic. So nicely
Yeah,
done.
no, we
Yeah.
nailed it.
Nicely done.
Well, it is one of those things that, again, I by the time the Sunday came, it came in, we did that initial cut, what scenes we like, participate in that. But again, like I'll admit to everybody, I bowed out. It's like, okay, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Because,
The job was done at that point.
well, that's just it. Like I definitely wanted to be here for we pick the scenes, we put that together,
Yeah,
get that
sure.
essence. But again, at least and not the same. But again, I'm software development like that you do as a group. But when you get to the actual get into it, dedicate one person to do the piece that they need.
Oh yeah. Well, and that was our
No,
process.
yeah, at that point,
editing
not
wise.
to be a dick, but yeah, at that point, you didn't have a job.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I didn't.
Your job
it's
was
just reality.
done.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly,
Right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Your moral support would have been great, but you also would have been bored.
Bored as a
Yeah.
Right. And one more body
And I-
in the room, making it all stuffy and
Yeah.
I thought we had a really
makes
good
sense.
system. I thought you
Yeah.
guys kind of manning the machine, switching up for the sheerability of editing, because it can be a lot on one person, such a short amount of time, and kind of my overall kind of direction, and then AJ doing the audio bit. I think it all just came together really nicely. And we got it in 40 minutes under the wire.
Something like that. It really was an amazing team effort for a group of people that haven't really worked together ever before.
Yeah. This is a really fucking
Yeah.
awesome experience. I can't even tell you guys how much fun and overjoyed and overwhelmed with
more SD
happiness I am.
Productions.
Yeah, no, yeah. And well, that's the other thing too. Staying tuned, because this is just the first of many. We're cooking up something right now. That
We have to
don't wanna talk about.
get to that habit of making sure we stick with these.
Well, we are.
Yeah,
That's
That's
yeah.
the
Not
the
just
plan.
no, I don't. I
Oh,
don't
you mean in other competitions?
the 48-hour thing.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
again, even
Yeah.
while we make the other bigger projects that we're at more dedicated, I want to do those too.
Yeah,
But I have to admit, I love that 48, and I love that we come in not knowing.
I agree.
We
I
have the
agree.
for fun share. Hey, it could be this. What about this?
Well,
General random shit. But I like that idea of just we show up and we just as a team we start throwing shit into the pile to see what.
I
cooks.
have an idea. Chris,
I was going to say, and the next time, like the technical workflow stuff that kind of added some friction just to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be there next time.
Right. We'd be
So
past
that's
it.
one small
Yeah.
thing that
Exactly.
would be a huge advantage of just doing this again with this group.
I agree.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And if I may, a vision I do
No, you
see
may not.
is
I give him
us
permission.
doing a number of these shorts, getting prepared for something bigger.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I see maybe we go from there.
It doesn't have to be bigger. It just has to be better.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Bigger quality.
and honestly, from the bottom of my heart, gentlemen, thank you so much. This
You
meant a
are
lot
very
to me.
welcome.
This was a fantastic experience, and
It was good times.
I really can't wait to
I
the next
enjoyed it.
one and the other visions. And thanks to Forest City Film Festival for putting it on.
yeah.
for sure.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah. And this is all to support fucking local independent film. That's all it's for,
Yeah.
right? There's no special thing other than we want to make more films. And this is their big event. What is it called? It's the
Forest City Film Festival.
no.
that is one.
Yeah.
The pitch
But no,
competition.
the pitch competition, the short film pitch competition that's coming up. This is all to funnel and support. Which, how can we not get behind that? And maybe who knows? Maybe we'll submit something for that. See if we
Then
can
we'll be
get
getting
it.
in front of it.
You're
Well,
right.
and I feel like this thing we did doesn't get much more local or independent. Like
This couldn't be
That's
more
us,
grassroots, right?
Oh, yeah.
When we started at a deficit. Not only do we have to pay for the registry, but we lost the downtown bucks.
We lost.
Yeah, we did.
We lost the
Listen,
bucks,
guys.
Will we?
Win
You
by as
probably
a
took them
team,
down to
lose
like
as a team.
Fitzrays and used them for fucking
no.
beers or some shit.
I'm telling you, the joke in my brain is there are someone somewhere in either Chris's car or apartment.
I hope you're
Because
right.
it fell out of a pocket. No, you won't
I hope
find
you're
it
right. I
until
know.
like 20 years
I
from
know,
now.
and that'll be no
And then
good.
he'll be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
there's money. Well, and on that note, I mean, thank you for getting us registered and
Yeah.
Oh,
making
yeah.
a
That was
group
great.
and
Yeah.
making it happen.
Making
I
it
mean, like
happen,
there's got to be someone to be like, okay,
Hey, yeah.
it's sign up, be here, this
Yeah.
whatever, So thanks for
Listen,
your part in that
Thanks
too.
for making sure we kept feeding our faces.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Everybody kind of filled their roles in the little bits, which was really nice. And listen, if my job is to find the right chemistry, getting people together, making cool shit happen, I'll be that guy.
And talking to random hotel owners.
Always.
I
Always talking about
I
it.
honestly thought you were going to say hookers.
Oh, those too. Yeah.
When you started with the whole
No, it's a-
sound, I was
this
like,
is a
and
cl-
talking
this
with
is-
random hookers too. It was like,
classy
no,
operation.
That got edited out. Yeah.
He was making a film. I think you're allowed to talk to hookers if you're making a film.
Only
Especially
if you
in
have
CD,
blow.
and in CD hotels. That's right. Yeah.
in CD hotels
go.
that smelled like nicotine.
Sure.
Oh boy, did it ever.
And I'm a smoker.
I know you
And
didn't
I
want to
thought-
smoke
and I
in
thought that was
place.
gross.
I know.
It was a great 12-second shot.
Really?
Yeah.
We
Probably
did
enough.
it twice.
Yeah.
We did
Yeah,
it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, because I think the only thing that changed in that shot was originally was on the side, but then realized
Oh,
to
right.
do
We
this.
did the-
Yeah.
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 Which turned out to be a pretty
It was
fun
very
look.
good. I liked it.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, should we wrap this up?
We
I
should wrap
believe
it
so.
up.
Bring it on.
All right.
Sounds
Let's get on with our afternoons.
Yep.
All right. You out there, what are your thoughts on our film?
Yeah, punks.
Did you like it?
They loved it.
Did you like our commentary?
They loved it.
Do you like these gentlemen that have joined our Gentleman Society of Podcasting?
Me more to them, but yes.
Are they unofficial or are they official now?
Well, this one I think is official. I think
the third
ultimately,
time?
and I think as time will
I
go,
still got to weasel my way in.
he'll be
Two more.
quite official.
Honorary.
before-
Can I be honorary? For
You're
that?
definitely
You're
honorary.
honorary
Yes,
right now,
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely,
Nice.
absolutely.
You do 2 more and you're official.
But yeah, something tells me you'll be a staple soon enough. But we want to hear from you. So let's keep the conversation going in the comment section of wherever you're listening to us, on our social medias, on our Discord server. Let's talk about film. And if you've noticed any Easter eggs that we didn't talk about, we want to hear from you. So please keep those the topic going of independent film with us.
We should have had more purposeful Easter eggs.
Next
Well,
time.
we should have
Yeah,
absolutely. If you like what we're doing, you want to support us, and again, you can support Americans by supporting Canadians by getting clicking on the affiliate link at 70% on our Smoking Gun Beef Jerky link. If you want to support us independently, we got ourselves a Buy Me a Coffee link that'll help us pay for some bubblies, keep the lights on in the studio, and keep us recording and all that good stuff. Outside of that, if you're not feeling well in the mental health department, guess what? You're not alone. You're just like all of us, and it's important to talk about this stuff inside your head because it matters not just to us, but to those around you. If you can't do that with anybody in your vicinity, we're gonna have some links in our description so you can seek out the help that you might need. But until next time, I've been Harvey.
I'm the Dave.
I'm the AJ.
Chris.
And Malcolm.
Wow. Okay, guys, weak sauce. Such a strong intro, gentlemen. But honestly, thank you both for joining us. Thank you for hanging out with us on our fun program. You just got yourself sarcastically distracted. Have yourselves a wonderful night. Peace.
Take care, all.
Bye now.